Today on There's This Band, we're interviewing Devon. She's a singer, songwriter, and she works in A&R, and that's exactly why we wanted to interview her. She's not only so creative and empowering, but she also works behind the scenes. She plays incredible shows. I've seen her at the Mercury Lounge, and we're just so grateful for having you here. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. So I just wanted to give a little background on how we met, and then also how it kind of ties into how Kylie and I met, which you might not know about. But
No.
We met at your work place at Lava and Republic, and I was interning there, and you were so nice to me, and it was so much fun hanging out with you there. And I miss sitting on your beanbag chair and venting.
Me too.
Have your own office?
We have our Lava section of the office, and then we have it's actually the whole section is really, it's decorated with a whole bunch of Lava art, and everything's themed red, and it's cute. It's a home away from home.
Yeah, and then it was, it's crazy because then Kylie and I met outside of a Greta Van Fleet show. It's kind of, yeah, it's really weird. Okay, so she had followed me on Instagram, and her page on Instagram, I don't know if you've seen it, is you can't really see her face in any of her beautiful face in in any of her photos, or at least this is how it was 2 years ago when we met. And I had just seen her outside of a show from the side, and I was like, are you Kylie? So then we met and became friends instantly. But yeah, I just thought I wanted to share that with you since you work with them. But I thought it's just such a small world, how.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. Greta Van Fleet bringing people together.
Forever.
Where did it start? Where did your love for music begin?
Yeah. All my life, I feel like I was just kind of born into it. I don't really know when it started, but I mean, as early as I can remember, I think my first concert was when I was 3 years old. My family took me to go see Billy Joel. So just always been thrown right into music. And I started playing guitar really young, started playing piano really young, and started songwriting really young. I think actually the last song on my first album, it's called Fate Was Wrong. And I technically wrote that when I was 8 years old. And then when I was 19 and getting ready to put out my first record, I rewrote a bit of it, but I've been writing my entire life, and I love it. It's what I enjoy most.
Was it always a part of your plan? Was New York City and working in the music industry always a part of that?
That was never a part of the plan. I'm from Philadelphia, from right outside the city. And I genuinely believed I was going to live in my parents' basement and make music for the rest of my life until I either succeeded or died. That was the plan. And I got this opportunity to work at Lava, and I'm so grateful for it. But I mean, the way I got it was I pitched my own music as an artist to the head of Lava Records, and he was like, listen, I really don't like your music at all, but I like you, so do you want to come work here? And I took the job, and I moved up to New York. And I really never thought I would be in New York, but life put me there. So yeah. It was weird at first because I was trying to figure out, is this giving up on my music by taking this job? But it's not. It's such an amazing community, and everyone who works in music is so creative. So it's the best of both worlds.
How has New York shaped who you are as an artist? Or because I know New York and Philly are obviously so different.
Yeah, you're right. It's way more competitive in New York. It's harder to book shows. It's a little weirder getting sessions because there is such a high standard and everyone's so good. So what's hilarious though is the Philly community in New York is so strong. And as soon as I find other people who are from Philadelphia, the connection is so deep and it's amazing. So I actually kind of got comfortable in New York through my Philly friends who also moved up there. And it helps. I went to college in Philly, and I went to Wharton. So all of my friends do finance. So they all moved to New York, even if they're not in the creative industry. I immediately had a network of people that I could hang out with and feel comfortable with and gain my footing with, and then figure out where I stand in the New York crowd.
What is that writing process like for you? Has that changed? And are you writing, because I know you've been to some writing workshops as well. So like, do you want to talk about that experience a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, songwriting has always been my favorite thing because I love lyrics, and I grew up listening to like Counting Crows was my favorite band for a long time, still is. And so I always start with lyrics, and one of my favorite things to do, I don't know if this is cheating, but my favorite thing to do is take like one of my favorite songs and take like a throwaway line from the second verse that no one was thinking about and make that my chorus, like make that the idea of my chorus. So I just love playing around with words and storylines and coming up with the concept that way, and then I sort of flesh out the music afterwards. I produce all my own stuff too, so the production part of it has been really fun recently because I've always been songwriting and I've always loved lyrics, I've always loved poetry, but the production side I always just kind of did because I had to, because no one else was producing the music, so I had to do it. But actually I've like taken a lot of workshops now, and like I went back to night school for music production like a couple years ago, and now it's a whole new world. There's so much creativity to be explored in that, and I was always using Pro Tools because I was always like just using live instruments. My brother is a crazy talented musician as well, so between the two of us we played all the instruments on my first 2 records. And then with my new stuff, I started switching over to Logic and messing around with beats and a little bit of sampling, and that's been totally different and totally revamped the way this new music is sounding. So it's been fun.
That's so cool. Did you play like, I mean, I'm sure growing up, did you play a lot of shows with your brother in the house? Were you guys like doing the talent shows together? Were you always like close enough to play together? Like, is that hard to play in a band with your brother?
No, it's awesome. He still is my band. My brother's a
Yeah.
full-time musician, and he has a rock band, the Christian O'Connor Band. They're really great. And his band backs me live when I play full band shows. And even when I play acoustic, my brother still comes and he plays lead acoustic guitar and sings backup vocals.
Wow.
So that's been awesome. Growing up, I mean, yeah, it was always just the two of us. But as soon as he got his own band, that totally took both of us to the next level because I got to hijack his band.
Did he like encourage you like, oh, come on, Devon, like sing for my band? Or was it your idea? Like, how did that happen?
Interesting question. I have to ask him how he thinks it happened, because I think I did ask him to be my backing band for live, but I mean, there was a summer where he didn't have a drummer. That's always the bane of our existence. We always have a different drummer for like every show. I don't know why. But,
Yeah. Well, if you ever
one
need
summer
one, I have one.
Yeah? Do you? Oh yeah.
No. Sam. No, but
Yeah.
but sorry.
No,
Yeah.
that's actually a great. Wait, I'm gonna hit up Sam.
No, seriously, he's stuck here. So I mean, like, hey, when New York reopens, like, let's put a show together.
Honestly, I would love that.
I'm writing it down, so now it has to happen because I'm manifesting it.
Love it.
Devon, so since lyrics have always been like your main focus, is there any artist outside of the Counting Crows that you feel like understands the most lyrically when you're listening to it? You're like, they really get me.
They understand. Definitely Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I don't know if you guys listen to them. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I had I would argue a problem last summer where I listened to them every day, and I started doing like Instagram stories of like breaking down their lyrics and tagging them in every single one, and I am shocked that I'm not like blocked from their account at this point. But I really like them, and I think they're like their instrumentation is super cool and super quirky, and it's been really cool and inspiring to listen to more of them. And also like Ingrid Michaelson and Regina Spektor, like the classic really powerful lyricists, especially coming from strong women who are like essentially my generation. I love it.
Have you been able to meet any of your musical inspirations?
So when I first started working at Lava, Mike Posner was on Republic. He might still be. I haven't checked. I don't know. But he came to the office, and I love Mike Posner. I remember I saw him walk by and I was like, okay, I'm going to say hi. I just have to work my way up to it. Have to like compose myself. And then he was gone. And I went to our front desk woman, Marilyn, and I was like, where did my Posner go? She was like, oh, he just left. So I ran downstairs. I see him waiting by himself for an Uber because he's just a normal person and he's great. And I see him and I'm sprinting up behind him and I land right behind him. And I'm like standing directly behind him, breathing so heavily and like trying to compose myself. And then I'm just like, Mike, what's up? And he was the nicest dude. And he turned around. He was like, hi, I don't think I know you, but you're acting like you know me. So what's up? How was your day? And I was like, what a beautiful person.
Oh my God, you have to act like you weren't just like running up behind him. You were just like, oh,
Yeah.
hey.
I had to play it cool.